After decades of living in the sphere of Russia's influence, why did Ukraine choose the West? There are many reasons that could be considered for why Ukraine has chosen to move toward the West. But one of the primary reasons is quite simply economics. It's the same reason why more Russians have immigrated to Western countries than people from Western countries have immigrated to Russia. Let's start by taking a big picture view. The European Union has a GDP of $17.09 trillion. Russia has a GDP of only $1.78 trillion. To be clear, this means the European Union has a GDP that is approximately 10 times larger than Russia's. But what about the Eurasian Economic Union? Even if you combine the entire total GDPs of all of the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, the total combined GDPs only come out to about $2.1 trillion. This means the European Union is still more than 8 times larger than the Eurasian Economic Union. No matter how you look at it, the European Union is a much larger economy. But what exactly does integration with the European Union actually mean for the Ukrainian people? It means euros, lots and lots of euros. It means new job opportunities. It means millions and millions of euros being poured into Ukraine in the form of direct foreign investment. In short, it means the possibility of rapid economic growth. This expectation of economic growth isn't just purely theoretical, because we've already seen it happen again and again in other Eastern European countries that have integrated into the European Union. Let's switch gears now and examine some of the per capita GDPs this time of some of the other countries in the region that have already integrated into the European Union. Ukraine has literally watched as country after country in the region has integrated into the European Union and drastically increased in wealth. Meanwhile, other neighbors that have not integrated into the European Union have tended to remain with smaller economies. Let's start by listing both the per capita GDP of both Russia and Ukraine in the year 2021. We can use these as a benchmark, as a point of reference for comparison with the countries that we're about to discuss. In case you're not familiar with the term, per capita GDP essentially means the GDP per person. Let's start with Russia. In 2021, Russia's per capita GDP was approximately $12,173. Now let's look at Ukraine. In 2021, Ukraine's per capita GDP was approximately $4,836. It's worth mentioning at this point that the 2021 per capita GDP of the European Union was $38,234. However, my primary focus in this video will be on the per capita GDPs of other Eastern European countries in the region of Ukraine. I think these are a better benchmark of the kind of economic progress that Ukraine might be able to accomplish. It's also important to note that every single country that we are about to discuss was either a self-described communist or socialist state, and some, but not all, were part of the Soviet Union. I will round these per capita GDPs to the nearest whole dollar. Make sure to compare the GDPs as I read them to both Russia and Ukraine as a point of comparison. Let's start with Estonia in the north. In 2021, Estonia had a per capita GDP of $27,281. Two important points on Estonia. First of all, Estonia used to be part of the Soviet Union, and now it has a GDP that is more than twice that of Russia. To be fair, it's a much smaller country. However, Estonia is not alone in experiencing economic progress. Latvia had a 2021 per capita GDP of $20,642. Lithuania, in 2021, had a per capita GDP of $23,433. Poland had a per capita GDP in 2021 of $17,841. The Czech Republic had a per capita GDP in 2021 of $26,379. Slovakia had a 2021 per capita GDP of $21,088. Hungary, in 2021, had a per capita GDP of $18,773. Romania had a per capita GDP in 2021 of $14,862. Let's quickly summarize what we just covered. Every single country we examined in Eastern Europe that is now integrated with the EU now has a higher per capita GDP than Russia. As a matter of fact, as of 2021 GDP numbers, every single country in the entire EU had a higher per capita GDP than Russia, except for Bulgaria, which had a per capita GDP of $11,635, which was just behind Russia. But even so, Bulgaria's per capita GDP was still far more than twice that of the GDP per capita of Ukraine. Before I finish, I want to give two more pieces of evidence that help support my conclusion. That is, that there are two other countries in the region that border Ukraine that have not integrated into the European Union. These two other countries are, of course, Belarus and Moldova. Both of them lag behind all the other countries in the general vicinity around Ukraine. The 2021 per capita GDP of Belarus was $7,304. In the case of Moldova, the per capita 2021 GDP was $5,315. To recap, every single country that is integrated with the EU, except for one, now has a higher per capita GDP than Russia itself as of 2021 numbers. Furthermore, every country that borders Ukraine other than Russia, that is not already integrated with the EU, has a lower per capita GDP than every single country in the EU. When you look at the numbers, it's really not a mystery why Ukraine chose the West. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Also, please subscribe so that you can see more of my content.